Hello, and welcome to the Tristan channel. Now, as you may or may not know, in a previous video on I did on Shadow Men and Dark Matter and all that sort of thing, I read an article about, I read an article out for you. So this one, I thought I'd share this, go over this article with you, read it for you, and if I remember by the time I've gone through it, to add any personal thoughts on that. But as you may or may not know from other videos, well, a couple of videos or so, I have these two friends who have feathers. Who I sort of made for, basically a quick summary of, there's a video about it on my channel, but a quick summary was some crows made a nest down the road near where I work, and obviously they get a bit protective. They can be quite protective, like seagulls. You know how seagulls go for you and stuff like that. So I'll just take this off. Yeah, so they can get quite protective. So I used to get dive bombed on the way to work. I thought, I can't be dealing with this. Did some research, and it was a case of either crossing the road, and to be fair, I just want to get there, you know what I mean? Or the other one is, well, there's three actually. One was, try to get across the road. Trust me, that didn't work. It's like they have quite a large perimeter, as it were. The other one was to wear a big funny hat, so they can peck at the hat, or have an umbrella, you know, I mean, so that they go, you were shielded. And believe it or not, you may think, but they're crows. Crows are, even though they're small. Well, mind you, I want to say is if because I've included some of the photos of my crows in this one, because I always like to share my photos. All I say is, considering the treats I've been giving them, almonds, because they love almonds, my crows have got quite big. People keep saying to me, "Are they ravens or are they crows?" And I'm like, "No, they're crows." And they're quite bloody big. The thing is, crows can get big, but I mean, crows can just get under a seagull size. A raven is bigger than a seagull, or basically the same size as a seagull or bigger, and they have different tail fins. A raven is more like it's more of a pointed tail, whereas a crow is more of a fan tail. And that's the difference. Plus the beak as well. So I made friends with these crows. The other option was just to make friends with them, to make peace, as it were, as you do. And so I thought, what's the best food? What was it? Crows like? That's the same as ravens. I mean, they're not that dissimilar, to be fair. A raven, in essence, if you look at the old Latin words for them both, a raven is essentially a cousin of the crow. It's like a big fucking crow, basically. Excuse me, French. Sorry, I've got an itch. But it's like, so yeah, they like almonds as well. But almonds is like the creme de la creme of all the stuff they like. So anyway, I got some almonds and fed them almonds, and decided to make peace, to let them know that I wasn't a threat. I just wanted to get to work. And yeah, so there's no point watching that video now, it's pretty much explained. But anyway, I've also got a crow caller, which people use for hunting, but I use it to I use it to communicate with crows, because I thought, let's see how many friends I can gather, because they're quite intelligent. They have a 5-year memory. But then again, it's quite funny. The reason why I question that is because, say for example, they know me for 5 years. I mean, I think they're 12, 15 years or something. But anyway, even if they remember me for 5 years, at the very last year of their memory span, it's going to get replenished. So just like us, their memory gets replenished. So I doubt they have what I mean? You and I can be forgetful. It will forget things, but we can replenish our minds, can't we? By going, oh, I know that. It's the same with them. It's like you know, confidence with them might fluctuate, you know, but it's like they still recognise who you are. But yeah, so I have this crow caller to let them know I'm around. Because they're not so much in the tree now. They've had the chicks and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, as I wanted to do more videos about crows, because I like crows, as you can guess by now, especially after that story, I wanted to share this article, because let's see, try and make it smaller. Because oh, pardon me. Because it's quite fascinating. You know, crows are quite. I thought it'd be fascinating to share with you. Basically, it's saying that I mean, as you can tell by the article, it's something we've realised in September last year. Or to be fair, I've always kind of known it or something, but anyone who's been around crows knows it. I mean, so it's one of those things. It's like my favourite joke. Or favourite thing that was kind of illustrated with Doctor Who, with Peter Capaldi. I can't remember the guy who said, I can't remember his name now. He was in Shooting Stars, and Little Britain. But he's like, oh, the crows are talking, and the Doctor goes, oh, the crows always talk. It's just that people don't ever listen, or don't bother to listen, or something like that, or forget to listen. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, the crows pretty much are talking and something. And yeah, I mean, I've learned sort of how to communicate. Because yeah, with the crow call, I want to see how many of them I could connect with, sort of thing. Because I talked to some down the river. Well, that sounds funny, but you know, all I could say is hello, hello. Basically, hello, I'm here. I kind of worked out that hello is 3 cores, 4 causes. Hello, I'm here. I worked it out from rhythm or pattern, or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, why do they do that? The only logical explanation I can hear, because they work out, is it's kind of like, hello, where are you? Where are you at? I'm over here. You know what I mean? Ready? And yeah, so I put some photos up on this video of recent ones and stuff. There's even one I took today where it's saying hello. It's like, car. Yeah. So let's have a look. Crows are self-aware, just like us, says new study. Crows have their own the link also to this article will be in the description below. Crows have their own version of the human cerebral cortex. Crows and the rest of the corvid family keep turning out to be smarter and smarter. New research observes them thinking about what they've just seen and associating it with an appropriate response. A corvid's pallium is packed with more neurons than a great ape's. So that's the thing, because even though I know they're quite smart at it, it's nice to see how smart. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't know that they got more neurons than a great ape. That's like smarter than a gorilla, sort of thing. Or great apes. I think is that more than us, or because we're a great ape or something? Anyway, it's no surprise that corvids, the crow family of birds that also includes ravens, jays, magpies, and nutcrackers, are smart. They use tools, recognise faces. Yes, they do. Leave gifts. Mine haven't given any gifts yet. For people they like. I'm stopping there because, for example, just a second. I'm not saying they don't like me. They must do, because they don't attack me like I used to. And I know they don't watch YouTube, but I just want to say publicly, come on, guys! I give you almonds. They're the luxury food. I mean, I suppose the gift is actually, to be fair, the gift is they actually stay still long enough for me to take a photo. Even excuse me a second. You know what I mean? It's like sorry for that little stop. I had to check the I got a heater on the bedroom, you see. But yes, so yeah, I suppose that's really a gift, isn't it? The fact that, well, the fact that, but not, what they usually mean is, sometimes, if the crow finds something, like whether it be a coin, money or whatever, they just drop it off or something. It's like, but yeah, I haven't had that yet, unfortunately. But to be fair, I get to take photos. I mean, I got somewhere there actually on the road sign, some really good photos I took. So yeah, so leaves gifts to people they like, and there's even a video on Facebook showing a crow nudging a stubborn little hedgehog out of traffic. Oh. Corvids will also drop rocks into water to push floating food their way. What's perhaps as surprising is what the authors of a new study published last week in the journal Science have found crows are capable of thinking about their own thoughts as they work out problems. This is a level of self-awareness previously believed to signify the kind of higher intelligence only humans and possibly a few other mammals possess. A crow knows what a crow knows, and if it brings the word sentience to mind, you may be right. The square root of caw is caw. It's long been assumed that higher intellectual functioning is strictly the product of a layered cerebral cortex, but bird brains are different. Which is kind of funny. It might have been David Attenborough said it. It's funny that people will say bird brain as an insult, but birds are quite intelligent. So it's a bit of a stupid insult. You know what I mean? A bit pointless. As well as another word, but I won't say it because I don't want to make this too much of a 18 certificate video because I've already sworn. I want people of all ages to watch this video so you can learn this cool stuff. Anyway, so the authors of the study found crows unlayered but neuron dense pallium, I hope I pronounced that right, may play a similar role for the avians. Supporting this possibility, another study published last week in Science finds that neuroanatomy of pigeons and barn owls may also support higher intelligence. What? So they must be little, pigeons must be little buggers on purpose then. It has been a good week for bird brains, crow expert John Maslov of University Washington tells Stat. He was not involved in either study. Brackets. Corvids are known to be as mentally capable as monkeys and great apes. However, bird neurons are so much smaller that their palliums actually contain more of them than would be found in an equivalent size primate cortex. This may constitute a clue regarding the expansive mental capabilities. Sorry, my mouth is not even fucking dry. I don't want to start screaming in French. But I don't know what's wrong with my mouth. I mean, my tongue's like... I must be corking about too much. Cork! Cork! I know that's a terrible impression. There is actually... I've seen a video where someone actually does crow speak, but I can't do it no matter what I do. I mean, she gets it so perfect. It's like, how? I can't... No matter how, if you follow her step-by-step things, I can't seem to do it. In any event, there appears to be a general correspondence between the number of neurons an animal has in its pallium and its intelligence, says Susanna Herculiano-Hozel in her commentary on both new studies for Science. Humans, she says, sit satisfyingly atop this comparative chart, having more neurons there than elephants despite our much smaller body size. It's estimated that crow brains have about 1.5 billion neurons. To be fair, sometimes they are, when they look at you, they go like that. Well, sort of like that. Imagine my eyes are on the side, yeah? and they actually can pretty much comprehend what you're saying. It's like, because I say to them, how are you, all right? Well, that's sad, but, well, after me reading this, you might think it's not too crazy. But I do speak to them. Yeah, and obviously, also Nelson's gone. You know, my little boy Nelson, you know, our little Nelson's gone. I've only got my crows, and But yeah, so I talk to them anyway. But you can see them, like I say, you can see them work out. And they can recognise my voice and like, oh yeah. It's funny though, because even if they trust you, if you ever look, if you ever try and feed them, despite the fact that you gave them food, they always hop to the side like they're nicking it. It's like, oh, quick, get it! 3 spots to us. It's flipping hilarious. You should try it. It's just so hilarious. So anyway. The kind of higher intelligence crows exhibit in the new research is similar to the way we solve problems. We catalogue relevant knowledge and then explore different combinations of what we know to arrive at an action or solution. The research is led by neurobiologist Andreas Nieder of the University of Tübingen in Germany, trained 2 Karen crows, Corvus Coron, Ozzy and Glenn. The crows were trained to watch for a flash which flash. Sorry. The crows were trained to watch for a flash which didn't always appear and then peck at a red or blue target to register whether or not a flash of light was seen. Ozzy and Glenn, instead I called mine Odin and Morrigan, were also taught to understanding a changing rule key that specified whether red or blue signified the presence of a flash, with the other colour signifying that no flash occurred. In each round of a test, after a flash did not appear, the crows were presented a rule key describing the current meaning of red and blue targets, after which they pecked their response. This sequence prevented the crows from simply rehearsing their response on autopilot, so to speak. In other words, it stops them from, rather than, it's so you can distinguish, are they just copying something, rehashing, or, or they're actually doing this, they're capable of discerning and all that sort of stuff. I think there's a better way he could have read that bit. In each test, they had to take the entire process from the top, seeing a flash or no flash, and then figuring out which target to peck. As all this occurred, the researchers monitored their neuronal activity. When Ozzy or Glenn saw a flash, sensory neurons fired, then stopped as the bird worked out which target to peck. When there was no flash, no firing of sensory neurons was observed before the crow paused to figure out the correct target. Nieder's interpretation of the sequence is that Ozzy or Glenn had to see or not see a flash. Deliberately note that there had or hadn't been a flash, exhibiting self-awareness of what had just been experienced, and then in a few moments connect that recollection to their knowledge of the current rule key before pecking the correct target. During those few moments after the sensory neural activity had died down, Nieder reported activity among a large population of neurons as the crows put the pieces together, preparing to report what they'd seen. Among the busy areas of the crow's brains during this phase of the sequence was, not surprisingly, the paralium. Overall, the study may eliminate the lead cerebral cortex as a requirement for higher intelligence. As we learn more about the intelligence of crows, we can say at least, with some certainty, it would be wise to avoid angering one. Yes, indeed. There you go. That's really fascinating. That's really, also opens up it. This is what the beautiful thing about it are, because we assume a lot, don't we, about what constitutes intelligence, what makes something intelligent, self-aware, and there's all these different factors, like whether it be biological and all sorts of stuff. You know, the way it's been constructed, the framework. But then things like this change that. Like this bit during about the lead. Where is it? Lead cerebral cortex. How I do that, you need a lead thing. You know, cerebral thing. It's like, ugh.
Yes. It changes the dynamic, doesn't it? Yes. Yes.
So, you know, what other animals could that work with? But then again, well, if you do believe the theories, like they say birds come from dinosaurs. And birds and all that, I mean, well, at least birds anyway, they've been on this planet a lot longer than us, so they got millions of years, or hundreds of thousands of years at least, you know, to go. I know what an acorn is. You know, I don't say for simplification, but you know what I mean? To discern stuff. So yeah, I mean, so like I said about the crows that I have named Odin and Morrigan, I think they've had a chick. I think I've seen it. I say that because it's I had two different crows which from the same tree, and I think they might have been the chicks because they were too small to be Odin and Morrigan, and they had flecks of white, like the chick hair left, because you know sometimes they get a bit tuft of their chick left in their feathers. So yeah, I did see another small one in there. I'm not sure if there's another one. I'm not surprised if they got the stamina to pump out. I mean, excuse that disgusting term, to pop out lots more chicks. Because you know, if you could tell. I mean, not saying all crows look a bit meh, but it's quite funny. My crows, not only do they look big, but the actual health of their feathers look really healthy. They look like they're domesticated. Well, you know, they look like they've come. You know, they look like a sort of crow you'd expect to see in an actual bird cage of someone's garden or house. You know what I mean? Because they're so healthy looking. They're big. Their feathers are healthy and things like that. So there's a couple of things that look a bit scrawny. So I think that's probably the chicks. But yeah, so basically they're really fascinating. I mean, and plus, yeah, like it says, you don't want to piss off one because it's kind of like the claws. I mean, there's a photo in one of my videos where you got this one that stood on a twig. Well, I say twig, it's about a bit of bark like that. And I heard this crunching noise. It sounded like bone was breaking, and it's basically it was grabbing onto it and using its balance because it was landed on the grass, and obviously it's like whoop. There's a bit of something there, so it was grabbing onto that to stop itself from wobbling like that. Because it basically essentially got 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot onto this little log thing. You know, it's literally crushing the log. It's like so it's like quite impressive. But yeah, they can peck your eyes out. All I say is watch the film The Omen. Is they can actually do that amount of damage. They've got sharp. It's like if you look at even like Raven Masters, and I know Ravens are slightly different because they're bigger, but with anything like if you look at people who own sort of smart birds, whether it be parrot, corvids, and like that, if you notice when they talk about them, they do look at them. They go hi, like, but they don't. They don't do it too fast, obviously, because you don't want to alarm them. But if you notice, it doesn't matter how smart they are, because it happens by accident, because they don't have lips like we do. So they could do it by accident when showing affection. But that's why if you've got like a big bird on you, you know, you don't look at it directly just for safety, because obviously if they try and give you a kiss in the face, you could potentially lose an eye. My crows the crows that I've made friends with. They haven't landed on me yet. They got close. They're comfortable near me in it, which is nice. So yeah, let me know what you think. That's really fascinating, though, isn't it? It puts opens up doorways to different possibilities when it comes to how we govern self-awareness and intelligence and all that lot, doesn't it? Because if you don't need necessarily the standard model of what constitutes as that, and then it's like, yeah, interesting. But yeah, I've always figured that crows are smart, but it's always nice to see how and why it works. You know, the inner works. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this fascinating like I did. I mean, I got loads of photos. But I've only put a few up. But I'll probably put that one. I'll put that one up. I said about when they're saying hello. Yeah, at the start and probably at the end of the video as well. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the like. If you haven't already, and you've just arrived here, please show your love and support by subscribing. It'd be very much appreciated, and I love you forever. And also hit the bell notification for more, so you don't miss out on any uploads or future updates. And like I said, if you scroll down my channel, it's not that far back. I did a video where it's got some photos. I think it's got the soundtrack to The Crow on it. Burn, is it Burn? Every night I burn, grow like dreaming. I got that in the background. Dun, dun, don't paint your face a shadow, smile. Dum 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 dum. I got that. Yeah, because I thought, why not? I got Crow themed video. You know. See, I got that, and I got. Do I have do I have one? Oh yeah, and there's a video there explaining the story, which I've pretty much covered it anyway. In the recap, in the way. So there's no point going out to watch that one. But yeah, if you go back anyway, you'll see some ones with photos in, and I'd like to put some photos up on this video. So anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to Ramble as well. It's very much appreciated. But you know, if I don't speak to you, how are you going to know what sort of person? How are you going to get to know me? You know what I mean? And plus, you know, it's a bit, you know, if I just read art, what's the point of me just read articles and not sharing my thoughts on it as well? So, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? So anyway, yeah. Until next time, folks, take care. See you soon.